Insider Bobby Marks. Barbie, we just keep hearing about flexibility. The Hawks want flexibility. What does that mean, and why is it keeping them from signing Trey to this extension, at least so far?
Well, there's a couple of things here, Malika. I think the flexibility starts with the newness of this roster. I think although it looks good on paper, we still don't know how good this Atlanta team potentially could be when you look at a new front office in Ansel Soleil, their GM, Kristaps Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard. Certainly when you integrate Trey Young into that, they also have a decision to make with Dyson Daniels, who's also rookie extension eligible. So I think if you're willing to commit long term, what does this roster exactly look like? I think you want a better feel. Remember, Trey Young is extension eligible till next June 30th, for $229 million. And then, Malika, I think from Trey Young's perspective, you're looking at this Atlanta team that's projected to finish fourth per ESPN bet in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
And you're saying, wait a minute, I'm looking at the market. We've got potentially 10 teams. We've got a third of next year's teams that have cap space here. Am I willing to commit long term if I'm not liking where the price is right now? So I think this is going to be a slow play as far as where both sides are going to go. I do think there's a middle ground as far as reaching that commitment here. But I do think from Atlanta's perspective, you're looking, wait a minute, let's see how this roster fits before we're willing to commit long-term to Trey Young.
Really quick, Bobby, it's unlikely if they don't reach an extension by the time the season starts. It's unlikely that we'll see this play out during the season. That would likely signify a pause button. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, I mean, you never say never here, but I think what you would like, from a player's perspective, you want to take care of your business before the season starts. You don't want to have negotiations. A little bit different than Jimmy Butler last year in Golden State, but you don't want extension talks during the regular season. That's something to happen after the season concludes.
Yeah, you would never want that type of extension tension, Perk. When you're looking at this for Trey Young, do you think this is a mistake that the Hawks are making by not offering him that max extension right now?
I do, because I mean, what else is out there that you're going to get for us being an upgrade from Trey Young? You just highlighted what he's been doing every year for us, his assists, and he's averaging 25 for his career. He's on like one could say or argue that he's having a Hall of Fame type career if you look at the numbers. And now you actually have the pieces around him that complements Trey Young. Jalen Johnson, who I'm very high on. You have pesky wing defenders with Lit. You go and get Alexander Walker, who can provide that scoring off the bench or in the starting lineup. You get Luke Kennard, who is a knockdown shooter, and you look at what Trey brings to the table. He makes everybody around him better. So going to get his 25 and getting about 10 to 11 assists a night, what else are you going to go out there and get at that position? I believe that the Hawks need to get this done.
And Perk, you said it. If you look at the numbers, and speaking of those assists, because everyone comes in and thinks, oh, Trey, he's a scoring point guard. Yeah. But with the new coach and the new players, he's been asked to do more passing. I don't know if we have the graphic. Here it is. Thank you so much, J. Joe and our amazing producers here. Every year of his career, he has upped his assist numbers. So he's evolving his game, not just relying on the shot, the deep range, but look, starting at 8 all the way up to 11.6, constantly pressuring the best point guards in the association when it comes to the top of the categories of leading the league in assists and also points overall generated when you add his scoring. And I believe that this is an opportunity season for the Hawks, because if you look at the landscape of the East, Celtics, Bucks, Pacers, Philly, how do we feel about those squads? Maybe there's some question marks there. You look at Detroit, Orlando, they're on the rise.
Right.
But this is a team that is led by a veteran who has experience and who has evolved his game in some ways. And it's also like the identity of the Hawks. Like, if you don't maintain Trey, like, that's a big choice. That's a big gamble in a year where your team, if you play well, you can end up getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that man, he deserves, he earns his money.
And Malika, what do I always say that the great Kevin Garnett always used to tell me? You remember?
The one that's fit for TV or the one that's not fit for TV?
Anything is possible?
No, don't worry about it. Listen, he always look at young great players to see if they're able to go out there and get theirs and make others around them better. Shanae highlighting that chart, he's getting his and making guys around him better.
This feels like a roster, when you look at stars around the league right now, that this is tailor-made for their star in Trey Young, more so than a lot of them that we're seeing. And we actually got to see a glimpse of Kristaps Porzingis, Trey Young's new teammate here, as he preps for Eurobasket. This one against Italy here. So this is Italy versus Latvia, Shanae. Kristaps Porzingis,
Right.
That's the hard screen.
We know this is what he does. That's a layup to him.
This is just for Stephanie. This is why they call him the uniform.
And then also, these are the plays that I love. Just attacking the rim, coast to coast. I mean, analytics dream, a 3 and a dunk.
And then he's got a nice passing touch here, too.
Ooh, one hand, okay.
Looking.
Ooh, nice little
dime
double
inside.
pass. That's nice.
14 points in this one. Italy does get the win, but again, we're just looking for glimpses of what we could be seeing here in Atlanta for the Atlanta Hawks. So this one here, Shanae, you just got to listen to the announcer because I think he sums it up best.
For the former NBA MVP, he's way stronger than Kostas. He'll turn and score. Too easy again. Jokic, too easy. Danovic to Jokic. There's no one to bother him there. It's too easy for him.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
I think there should be a setting to be able to listen to games more like this. Just tell me how it is.
No one can stop him
fluff.
there.
That's his game, no fluff.
Exactly. No fluff. How about Lauri Markkanen also getting some run-in with the Finnish national team, taking on Belgium here in this one. Shanae, he went crazy.
I have a feeling that like maybe 29 teams are like, this is someone that can separate us.
Yeah, this maybe is a 7-footer that can shoot and also do that.
One-handed jam.
Yeah, certainly someone who could help us. Going ahead to the fourth quarter here, Markkanen cutting to the basket and then gets a nice little layup to go.
Mobile. I mean, come on.
Shanae, he finished with 48 points in 25 minutes in this
How does that feel in this
contest.
Bay Area?
He followed that up today with a 31-point
You miss
performance.
100% of the shots you don't take.
This was not a mirage. Lauri Markkanen is on his third team with the Utah Jazz, and that has Utah has been really his most productive when you look at his numbers. He won Most Improved in 2023. He was an All-Star. But the Jazz, they have firmly said, nope, right now, even though we're in the midst of a rebuild, we don't have the right offer on the table. So, Bobby, Markkanen's been a bit of a topic, as Shanae has been really covert in alluding to over the last couple of minutes. What kind of market is actually out there for a player of his skill set? 7 foot, can shoot? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's amazing how things kind of changed a year ago. Remember, we were talking about Lauri Markkanen, that date we had circled as far as to renegotiate and extend as far as when he could become trade eligible, and he was not trade eligible last year. He's entering year 1 of this max contract right now. I think from Utah's perspective, yes, there is a market for him. But I do think when you look at this roster, and it is extremely young as far as what the Jazz are going to do, they need good players, right? They need to eventually turn the script a little bit as far as how they start building this roster out. Collecting draft picks, which they have 11 first in the next 7 years, that is great. But I do think Markkanen can be a building block to build this around moving forward.
I don't disagree. He's talented, but also like this is a long game type of situation. We'll see how long. It's hard to keep players happy when they're in that type of circumstance year and year and year.
I believe Austin Ainge is going to hold on to him like a conversation. I really do. I agree with Bobby and Shanae. But I do. But Bobby, let me ask you this. Could it be a possibility that he end up in Boston? Maybe Boston take a look at him. They lost Kristaps Porzingis. They lost Al Horford. I mean,
you know, Perk, Boston is interesting to me. I know we've talked a lot about how much money they've saved, over $300 million